Someone way smarter than me once told me, Savage rating is like playing in a marching band. You 1 have to learn how to play your instrument, in this case your job, and 2 have to learn how to do the march, or the fight, and working with other players. As silly as it sounds, I think this analogy holds up pretty well as far as I've gotten into the scene. You can neglect your ability to play your instrument, or pretend you're playing it well, but everyone around you is gonna hear... And on the other side, if you don't know the steps of the march, you're gonna start ending lives. I personally think Savage rating is some of the best content in 14, and today I'm gonna tell you why you should try it and how you can get started. If I can go back to the marching band analogy really quickly, the payoff of improving at raiding and clearing fights feels a little bit like this. It's similar to any other game. When you finally overcome the challenge of killing the latest boss, you're paid off with sweet, sweet serotonin in the brain. Oh, and some loot, but we'll get to that. The thing that makes killing 14 bosses different from a game like Dark Souls is that you share your victories and defeats with your group, so you get to celebrate with your bandmates. You also sort of get a platform for self-improvement if you're addicted to getting better at video games like I am. The third reason people jump into Savage raids is for the gear. Yeah. Current Savage Raid will drop best in slot gear, which is a big appeal to a lot of people. While I agree that gear can be a good motivating factor, I don't know that raiding for gear's sake will actually lead you to enjoy it as much as just enjoying raiding. But that's just my take, and if the gear alone is what drives you, go for it. It seems like a lot of players are hesitant to jump into Savage, and rightfully so. They either know that learning an instrument in a march is going to take work, or literally don't know that you have to press the buttons to make the music sound good because their band teacher never taught them. My advice is just jump into it if you're interested. If you have no idea where to start, check out the Balance Discord. There you'll be able to find resources for your job. And if you're not planning on going in with a blind group, I'll point you towards Salted 14. One last resource I highly recommend is looking at this raiding fundamentals guide written by Ryza on Awk Morning. It's loaded with information on how the game system mechanics work and how to take advantage of it. All of the links will be in the description. Yes, this is a lot of information, and it can get overwhelming. If you're nervous about needing to do a bunch of homework before getting started, just know that taking a glance and applying yourself is already more work than most people do. If you want a little bit easier of a space to practice in, I recommend EX trials, which work very similar to Savage fights, but are generally a few notches down in difficulty. This is where a lot of players get hung up. Yes, you have to apply yourself. That's what makes doing the content rewarding. It's considered bad etiquette for you to not at least be trying here. I can't exactly think of a new innovative way to ease people into this, but if anyone else can, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Once you've decided you're ready to try raiding, you need to find a group to raid with. Now you have two options. You can look for a static, a group of players with similar goals that schedule their raid times together, or... yeah. Now, in defense of Party Finder, you can find groups for most current raids at most times of the day, regardless of your data center. But you have to realize here, you can't fully control your group. You're going to get some good groups, you're going to get a lot of bad groups, you're going to get everything in between. You're going to run into Kirito McAngrypants, the samurai player, who thinks everyone else is shit. He's a goddamn protagonist of Party Finder. But you might also run into players that are like, well, Fitty. Our static found one of our healers over a year ago on Party Finder, and she's been keeping my dumbass alive since then. Speaking of my dumbass, I personally recommend you maybe try Party Finder a couple times, then if you find you enjoy raiding, go look for a static. It may take a few different groups for you to find what you're looking for, but it's worth it in the end. My static has been through many roster changes since we formed at the beginning of Shadowbringers, but once you finally get that group of like-minded individuals, it really transforms the raid experience. Just having the clear communication that, hopefully, comes with being in a static alleviates a ton of unnecessary stress that comes with raiding. And if you're lucky like me, you might even become friends with your static. If after all this you're still interested in raiding, I say go for it, man. At least give it a try. If you do try it for the first time because of this video, let me know by leaving a like. And if you're interested in more Final Fantasy XIV videos like this, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.